I'm Danielle Robay with the Red Carpet Report, and we are in Hollywood for the Actors for Autism charity event honoring Joe Mantegna, who has a personal place in my heart because he's from Chicago. Joe, you knew what you wanted to do when you were 16 years old.
I did.
What inside of you, how did you know?
You know, it's hard to explain. I was very fortunate that I had before that night that I tried out for that play when I was 16, I no more thought I'd be an actor than the Man in the Moon. But I tried out for a play in high school on a dare, and during the process of the audition, something hit me while I was on that stage that said, oh my God, I really want to do this. I really feel I belong here, and I never questioned it, but I just kind of kept pursuing it, and I really haven't looked back, and that was almost 50 years ago. So I feel very blessed that happened, and as to why that happened, or I've talked to other people who've had similar experiences, though, so I just feel lucky that it happened to me.
And you have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in between two very funny people.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, I've got Errol Flynn on my immediate one side, and I've got Debbie Reynolds and Peter Falk on my other side. And I intentionally wanted to be next to Errol Flynn because he was my childhood hero. And then after I got my star, when I had the opportunity to help Peter get his star, because Peter had passed away and he was a dear friend of mine, I kind of made it my goal to make sure he got his star on the Walk of Fame because he had never gotten one up to that point. And I chose to have him put next to mine just because I thought, well, I wanted to be in good company. So I'm glad that worked out. So it's a privilege to be there with, Debbie Reynolds, Peter Falk, and Errol Flynn.
And how did you figure out how to do the Dean Martin impression?
Well, Dean Martin, yeah. I mean, Dean Martin, his star is right across the street from mine, so that was another kind of a planned thing. But when I did the movie Rat Pack and knew I was going to be playing Dean, I watched so much footage on him trying to, pick up tips as to how I would portray him. And I remember, in terms of his voice, something kept ringing in my ear like this. This sounds familiar in a way. Then I realized, to me, he sounded a lot like the Sugar Bear in the old Sugar Crisp commercials that used to go, can't get enough of those Sugar Crisps. And I thought to myself, if I could just talk like the Sugar Bear, that there might be a little bit of Dean Martin there. So I just thought, can't get enough of that Sugar Crisp. Hey, how all these people get in my room? It's Dean Martin. And so, actually, it's a little bit of the Sugar Bear from Sugar Crisp. So hats off to Nabisco or Post or whoever invented Sugar Crisp.
Yeah, thanks Sugar Crisp. And you have a street named after you in Chicago.
I do. That was I grew up in Chicago. It was actually the streets in Cicero, Illinois, and that's where I went to high school. We moved from Chicago into the neighboring suburb of Cicero, and I went to high school at Morton East High School there, and then 2 years at their junior college. So I was there 6 years in that building on the corner of 26th and Austin in Cicero. So when the city of Cicero called and asked they would like to name a street after me, I was so flattered, and they said, where would you like it? I said, well, I guess I spent 6 years in that building between the high school and the junior college. That might be nice. So if you go on that corner of Austin and 26th and Cicero, it says Honorary Joe Mantegna Boulevard. So it's very, very nice. I'm very flattered, and it's if I'd have known it back then when I was 16 years old walking on that street, I think I'd have been very amazed by it all.
What was it like being part of the Godfather franchise? It's so iconic.
Yeah, well, I mean, it really is that. As a dear friend once told me, hey, you're in the Italian Star Wars. Yeah, I mean, it's a real privilege to be part of that whole trilogy of films, arguably together make up some of the finest films ever made. And so working with the great cast and, great Francis Coppola and Mario Puzo, it was a real privilege, real honor, and obviously one of the high points of my career.
And it's easier to name shows that you haven't been in than shows you have been in. You've been acting for so long. Yeah. And you've been on The Simpsons for over 20 years. Yeah. How would Fat Tony end this interview?
Fat Tony might say, thank you for watching. I'll catch you later.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a wonderful night. And if you like this video, click like. For more, subscribe. And let me know what charity is closest to your heart. Thanks so much.